We are live. Let's look into the business of F1. The F1 movie is about to come out in Montreal, near the office or near the hotel. They are having a bunch of F1 advertisements. There's a new song that's out by Tate McRae about F1, which is really cool. What else? Today I had breakfast, or while I was having my breakfast, I was sitting right beside the McLaren team. That was really cool. So let's look into the business of F1 now. Business of Formula One. I was also listening to another past owner of F1 team on a podcast a couple of days back. That was also really interesting. Let's see. Complex multi-billion dollar ecosystem that combines high-stakes motorsport with global entertainment, cutting-edge technology, and sophisticated commercial strategies. Sophisticated commercial strategies generates revenue through diverse streams, engages millions of fans worldwide, and supports a network of teams, sponsors, and stakeholders. Below is a comprehensive overview of the F1 business model, its key components, revenue streams, and challenges based on the latest available information. Governed by the Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile (FIA), sets technical and sporting regulations, while the commercial rights are managed by the Formula One Group, a subsidiary of Liberty Media, since its 4.4 billion acquisition in 2017. It's kind of crazy how important F1 has become. How it's really crazy. Like how from no public conversation, it has gone, it has emerged into this place which is being talked about everywhere, mainly because of the Netflix series. 24 races in 2025 across 21 countries featuring 10 teams, constructors competing for the drivers and constructors championship. Okay, I finally understand what they mean by constructor championship. Constructor basically means the manufacturer. Revenue generation through broadcasting rights, race hosting fees, sponsorships, and merchandise. Fan engagement, leveraging digital platforms, media, and experiential events to expand the global audience. Team and stakeholder ecosystem. Teams, manufacturers, and sponsors drive innovation and competitiveness supported by prize money and commercial partnerships. Valuation has soared, market cap of approximately 17 billion 23, up from 4.4 billion 2017. I thought most of the times these, like, it's very hard to sponsor a an F1 team. It is a lot of money, and your company might start looking at it that, oh, that's a wasteful spending. So most of the time, we would see like cigarette brands, we would see petroleum brands who have a lot of money, or just like these really old big tech giants like Oracle. But now a lot of even startups are getting into it. Even startups are getting into it because they see that, hey, now it's all about mindshare. If we sponsor the coolest team on the grid, people are going to look at it, people are going to remember our name, and our logo is going to be everywhere. And that creates mindshare. F1 generates revenue through multiple channels, with total revenue reaching 2.1 billion in 21 across 22 races. Broadcasting rights 450 to 660 million annually. F1's largest revenue stream comes from selling television and streaming rights to broadcasters worldwide. In 2017, US rights alone were valued at 4 million per season. The rise of streaming services, ESPN, F1 TV. Okay, they have something called F1 TV. Right? Broadcasting rights, rise of streaming services, distributed broadcasting, creating both opportunities and challenges. F1 must adapt to changing viewer preferences while maintaining lucrative TV contracts. Okay. Speculation on major deals such as Apple's rumored $2 billion per year offer for global rights highlights the growing value of F1's media rights, though existing contracts extend for several years. That is so interesting. That is so interesting. Apple is just about to launch. I'm guessing who is sponsoring the F1 movie? I think it's Apple TV Plus or Apple, produced by Apple, right? Apple Original Films. Yes. Distributed by Apple TV Plus. Right, so Apple is already part of it. Apple wants a bigger chunk of it. Wow. And maybe this was a way for Apple to be like, hey, We want in. We will make a movie about you. We'll make your sport even more popular. And that is kind of a leverage. Wow, so many interesting things are happening. Like recently, somebody was talking about Tate McRae, and they were like, okay, her last song was a sports car, was called Sports Car, and it was around sports car. It was, it didn't specifically talk about F1, but it was in general talking about sports car, and how from that song, she recently just dropped 10 days ago the F1 movie song, Just Keep Watching. And that is really cool. Like how you put your work out there, it somebody who is trying to do something bigger, they look at the work that you have already done, which is really high quality, and they're like, okay, we are not gonna we can already see your work and now we trust you, so let's make something better with our production facilities and big with our bigger creative team or whatever. And same thing is happening now. Apple is like, okay, we want to work with you and we will actually make a movie about you and make a really good movie, feature Brad Pitt in it, make it extremely good so that we have extreme leveraging rights. We have a lot of leverage when we enter that agreement that, hey, give us the global, what we call it, global broadcasting rights. This is really cool. Okay, let's see. Oh, this opens up right over here. Apple is reportedly considering 2 billion per year offer for the exclusive global broadcasting rights of Formula One. Wow, this would explode Apple TV Plus. There are some challenges. Many of F1's current TV deals run for another 5 plus years, but I also think this would be a home run for Apple. Lionel Messi MLS deal shows the power of sports content. MLS Season Pass gained more subscribers in Lionel Messi's first month than in the previous 9 months combined, including 110,000 new signups on the day of Messi's debut alone. What MLS is? 20% of those people also subscribe to Apple TV Plus, leading to platform's best month ever. Formula One's audience is perfect for Apple, huge, young, and global. La Liga, Bundesliga, League One, and CA are all big, but none of them are truly global like Formula One. This is important because Apple is a global company too, with 400 plus stores in 26 countries and billions of dollars in revenue from the United States, United Kingdom, Japan, China, India, Germany, France, and others. Much younger than other sports league. MLB 57, NFL 50, NHL 49, NBA 42, Formula One 32. Okay. This is an ideal audience for a company like Apple. Leverage F1's valuable intellectual property. Already working on two F1 projects, a Lewis Hamilton documentary, and yeah, I wanted to check who were all the producers. So the Brad Pitt, Joseph Kosinski, Lewis Hamilton, Jeremy Kleiner. Okay, very interesting. Sonny Hayes. Brad Pitt is Sonny Hayes. Okay. Already working on two F1 projects, documentary F1 movie starring movie starring Brad Pitt with Joseph Kosinski of Top Gun directing. We also all know how popular F1 Drive to Survive is on Netflix, and there are countless other projects that could be valuable to Apple. This partnership could be huge for F1 too. A 2 billion bid is double what F1 currently makes in annual broadcast fees, and it would represent 77% of the business's 2.5 billion in revenue last year. But more importantly, it would give F1 more control. Liberty Media purchased Formula One for 4.4. They have made an effort to take more control over their product. Take Las Vegas, for instance. F1 signed a 10-year deal to race down the Las Vegas Strip and have already committed 500 million to the operation. But instead of allowing someone else to come in and promote the race, think ticket sales, sponsorships, this is the first race where Liberty Media will do it themselves. Formula One also recently acquired the company that runs trackside hospitality at the races. Okay. For 313 million, and a partnership with Apple would provide them with even more control. So we'll see what happens. Part of me thinks this is silly because moving from open end broadcasting deals to a closed end streaming deal is the quickest way to stunt growth. But part of me also likes the idea because if you are already an F1 fan, having all the content in one central place is an increasingly important luxury. Hmm. It does make some sense to me, the fact that Formula One marketed as a very luxury sport. Apple can give you that luxury feel. Oh, wow, he talks just like uh, Anthony Pompliano. Okay, we are seeing something very interesting happen over here. Netflix is going after. Wow, Netflix should be. We thought Netflix would be in the best position to make a deal with F1 because Netflix made F1 real. Netflix made F1 big. Drive to Survive is happening on Netflix. Netflix already has the relationships over there. So that is very interesting. There should be a competition going on between Netflix and Apple. Okay, this is true. This is true. Match. Netflix cannot match the cash deal that Apple would give because Apple has a lot of cash and make, they can outbid Netflix over here. Netflix doesn't have that much cash. Let's see, maybe I'm wrong. Netflix. So, so Netflix stock is 528 billion. Hmm. Can we ask this question, Grok? How much cash does, or see, did Netflix bid for exclusive broadcasting rights of F1? Wait, another X going on over here. And we will ask another question there. Reported to be considering a bid for the US broadcasting rights of Formula One with the current ESPN contract worth approximately 90 million annually set to expire. What? 90 million annually? ESPN got a really good deal over there. Yeah, like they are the broadcaster. Netflix blows it up. They get a lot of attention. Wow. Netflix is evaluating this opportunity to expand a live sports portfolio. They already are doing WWE and F1. WWE is good because again, something which is watched by everybody from zero to whatever, 0 to 70. And now they can do F1 as well, leveraging the success of its Drive to Survive docuseries, which significantly boosted F1's popularity in the US. The Times first reported Netflix's interest. This is interesting because Netflix does have a leverage. Apple could go and be like, hey, we made the F1 movie. We can also take over the Drive to Survive. But Netflix has all the relationships. They have done all the work. They should have a leverage over there. Noting would mark the company's first major foray into season-long mainstream sports rights. Other contenders such as NBC and potentially Amazon or Apple are also in the mix, with F1 seeking a deal valued at 150 to 180 billion per year. However, Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos emphasized a focus on profitability, suggesting the company would avoid an aggressive bidding war. No deal has been confirmed, and negotiations are ongoing as the latest reports. Hmm. Apple will throw cash. Ted Sarandos doesn't want to enter into aggressive bidding war with Apple. NBC, potentially Apple or Amazon are in the mix. Reportedly interested in securing the live streaming rights for F1. No ads, no live sports. Now they're launching an ad-supported plan. and currently competing for F1 sports rights in the US. It's been a long time. Okay. All right. Wow. Race hosting fee 660 million. Broadcasting rights. Apple is going to 4x. Apple has already put out a really strong bid because they are like, okay, we have a lot of money and we want our, it's going to be a lot of this exclusive broadcasting rights will bring a lot of impact to our streaming service because our streaming service is not as big as Netflix. Circuits pay substantial fees, averaging 30 million per race to host Grand Prix, often funded by governments or private promoters. These fees cover the privilege of hosting an F1 event, which drives tourism and local economic activity. Okay, so government or private promoters pay $30 million per race to host Grand Prix because they believe that Grand Prix will make them even more money, which makes sense. A lot of hotel bookings, lot of it makes sense that government would pay that because that is bringing a lot of attention on just that city name. Like I forgot what's the city. Silverstone, right? Mercedes Silverstone. We wouldn't know Silverstone is a city and people wouldn't fly to Silverstone, and that affects everything. Like the fact that thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people are flying to your city, that means you have to improve your entire infrastructure. That forces you to build hotels. That actually helps in the development of the entire city. Examples include the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which benefits from significant financial backing, and new races like the Las Vegas expected to generate 1.7 billion local revenue. Makes sense. Hosting fees have risen with a reported 11% increase between 2008 and 2009, despite few races, reflecting the sport's growing appeal. Sponsorship and naming rights. Rolex, PepsiCo, DHL, heavily for global exposure. 39% of team revenue came from sponsorships. Deals range from team naming rights, Oracle, Red Bull Racing to trackside advertising and driver endorsements. 300 brands. Oh, yes, that's right. Lewis Hamilton was recently just Perplexity. Perplexity. Did Perplexity just sponsor? It's crazy because this is a sport that attracts a lot of attention. And then all you have to do is find every spot where you can put a logo on. Find every spot where you can put a logo on. Could be the tire, it could be the helmet of the driver, it could be the uniform of the driver, it could be just the race or the track side. Rolex is the timekeeper, I believe. Air Power Answer Engines entered into a sponsorship deal with seven-time Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton, marking its first venture into sports sponsorship. Announced May 25, logo debuting on Hamilton's race helmet at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, May 18, 2025, and officially launching in the Spanish Grand Prix on June 1, 2025. Sponsoring F1 teams like Red Bull Racing, Aston Martin, Williams, but opted for an individual deal with Hamilton to leverage his global influence and vast social media following for brand awareness. Helmet branding, collaborators, social media content aligning with Perplexity's goal of promoting innovation and excellence. Values Hamilton embodies both on and off the track. Wow. Okay. That might be a better deal. That might be a better deal because you are working with one person. That one person might bring, if he talks about it, that brings more value than just slapping your logo and it appearing as one of the other 20 logos on a car. Well, and we might start seeing a lot of AI companies. You might, because AI is making money, we might start seeing a lot of AI companies starting to sponsor F1. And the financial details are undisclosed. Perplexity valued at approximately 9 billion sees it as a strategic move to expand its reach, while Hamilton benefits by aligning with a tech company that reflects his advocacy for continuous learning. AI's environmental impact or relevance to Hamilton's brand, but others noted the deal's alignment with its innovative image. Recent partnership with Lululemon CFI Fanatics Collectibles underscores his marketability despite a challenging start to the 2025 season for Ferrari. Yeah, we don't know what kind of start he's having. That is interesting perplexity right here. Consider partnering with the likes of Red Bull or Williams Racing before choosing the seven-time world champion. Perplexity. Braided lid up close with the perplexity logo. Making a first big movie F1 sponsorship and pretty exciting way to fuel curiosity on and off the track. Yeah, this is the video. Beautiful. Beautiful ad. And he has 8.5. Man on many missions. Man on many missions. That's his bio. Race hosting, sponsorship, naming rights, merchandise licensing, merchandise, team apparel, diecast models, and licensing agreements for video games such as Formula One series by Codemasters. Experiential offerings, F1 Paddock Club, racing simulator events cater to high net worth fans and generate additional revenue. Boosted by Netflix Try to Survive has increased demand for branded products. Trackside advertising managed by All Sport Management SA themed advertising ensures exclusive brand exposure at races except Monaco. Hmm. 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 Why not Monaco? Unique nature of Monaco Grand Prix and distinct commercial organization structure. Automobile Club de Monaco. High degree of autonomy compared to other F1 races. Retains significant control over its commercial rights, including advertising and sponsorships. Manages trackside advertising along local and high-profile brands Rolex, Jaguar to dominate the circuit's iconic backdrop. This independence is a historical privilege as Monaco has been a cornerstone of F1 since 1950 and is considered the sport's most prestigious race. Hmm. Automobile Club de Monaco. Automobile. Transcends typical F1 races. Principality uses the Grand Prix to promote its luxury, tourism, and hospitality sectors, attracting high net worth individuals and brands. Prioritizes partnerships that align with Monaco's image, often involving luxury yachting or financial brands which may not fit. All sports standardized themed advertising model used at other races. Urban layout, tight streets, iconic landmarks, Casino Square, unique advertising canvas that the ACM leverages directly, bypassing all sports centralized management. Historical and contractual agreement. Favorable terms reflecting its historical significance and prestige. Unlike other races which pay hosting fees averaging 30 million, Monaco reportedly pays a significantly lower fee, estimated 15 to 20, or in some years, no fee at all in exchange for its global brand value to F1. Very interesting. Supporting evidence. All Sport Management, Swiss-based company, oversees trackside advertising for most F1 races, ensuring that global sponsors receive exclusive exposure through standardized signage and digital boards. Streamlines revenue distribution with a portion of advertising income contributing to F1's 2.1 billion annual revenue pool. Monaco's exception reflects its unique status as a race that predates modern F1 commercial structure and operates under bespoke terms. Other revenue tracks advertising, managed by All Sport, theme advertising, and ensures exclusive brand exposure at races. Hospitality and VIP experiences. Corporate clients, fans provide premium access to races, prize money based on constructors' championship standings, fueled by F1's revenue pool. Teams received a portion of the 2.1 billion revenue, with top teams like Ferrari and Mercedes earning significant sums. Team business models. F1 operates Teams operate both as competitors and businesses with diverse strategies to generate income and remain competitive. Technology transfer. Mm. Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren develop technologies. They can also do this that, okay, for a team, all the work that we do over here, we can work with another company to help you improve your engines. And we are basically doing the research, and now we are licensing you the research. Well, it's interesting, like most of those licensing deals would go to the top guys. How will the teams that are actually ranking 10th on the leaderboard, they could go like, oh yeah, you should buy our R&D because we rank 10th. Okay. Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren developed technologies for F1 that are later applied to road cars, particularly luxury and performance vehicles. Dual purpose innovation justifies high R&D budgets. Independent teams, Williams, Sauber have historically provided technology to third parties in aerospace, IT, and telecommunication. Okay, makes sense. Sponsorship and commercial partnership. Top teams generating hundreds of millions annually. For example, Williams list 21 sponsors, including. Is Williams a top team? Okay. Duracell and Komatsu. Minimum guarantees, revenue shares, multi-year deals with stickiness depending on a team performance and brand alignment. Driver academies. McLaren, Lewis Hamilton, Norris. Whoa. Red Bull. Yeah, it seems like we are getting some old data over here. McLaren, Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris. Invest in driver academies to nurture talent. These programs create synergy, reduce costs, and secure future stars. Brand loyalty attracts sponsorships tied to young drivers. Competent supply. Automaker back teams. Supply engines and components to other teams. Mercedes powered McLaren, Aston Martin, and Williams, while Ferrari supplied Haas and Alfa Romeo. Rents R&D costs across multiple teams. McLaren, Aston Martin, Williams, Ferrari supplied Haas and Alfa Romeo. The 145 million budget cap introduced 21 reduced to 135 or 23 levels the playing field, forcing teams to optimize spending. Haas adopt low-cost models while manufacturer-backed teams leverage economies of scale. Private equity investments such as McLaren 33% stake and Williams focus on cost optimization and operational efficiency. Two high-performing team business models, technology sales, selling proprietary technology to competitors, enhancing capabilities and revenue, human resource training, developing and training talent, driver engineers with other teams, fostering learning and innovation. Hmm. Engineers, there's a trading that's happening. That makes sense. Like if you're working for a Mercedes, you might want to be like, okay, what would we feel like to work for a Ferrari, let's say? Fan engagement, digital transformation. F1's popularity has surged 471 million annual viewers and 500 million fans globally, one third of whom joined after Liberty Media's digital push. Humanizes drivers and teams, attracting younger and female audiences. It has been a game changer, boosting younger and female audiences, boosting engagement and sponsorship opportunities. Professional marketing team relaxed restrictions on team and driver social media use, leading to a flood of content across platforms. Includes real-time fan interaction, data-driven marketing, and streaming on F1 TV. This actually makes so much sense. Like, if you relax the rules, if you let drivers do their thing, those individual brands will attract so much more diverse people than just F1 the company. Teams Because again, people humanize. What Drive to Survive most importantly did for F1 is humanize the drivers and the teams. It was no more just rich people racing cars. It was people with stories, young guys with stories, with with a crazy story and a lot of drama, day-to-day drama, interesting background and day-to-day drama, that and competitive spirit that is bringing people together. New races in Asia, Qatar, China, and Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and the US, Miami, Las Vegas tap into emerging markets, attracting new fans and sponsors. 25 seasons, 24 race Canada maximizes global reach but strains logistics. Ownership financial performance. Acquired F1 for 4.4 2007, 2017, transforming into NASDAQ listed entity FWONA. F. That's such a bad one. F wonk. F wonk. F WONA. Its market cap reached 17 billion with operating income doubling in 2 years and a 23% operating margin. Low capital expenditures, 2% of revenue ensure high cash flow. Team valuations. Every F1 team is now worth over $1 billion, driven by increased revenue, cost caps, and global appeal. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway holds a 630 million stake in Liberty Media's F1 business as of December 24. Who would know that? I had no idea. Wow. Like I've been reading a lot about Charlie Munger, and the most interesting thing over there is that, yeah, you don't have to know about everything. Most of the stuff, if you don't know about it, you just put into this pile of too complicated. And that's what they were doing with all tech stuff. But this is very interesting. They decided to invest in Liberty Media. I want to know this, also know the story of Liberty Media. Tell me the history of Liberty Media. I'll come back to challenges over here. All right. Commercial versus competitive balance. A firm must balance profitability with sporting integrity. Over commercialization risks alienating fans, while dominance by top teams can reduce competitiveness. So that's the reason why they have a cap, spend cap. The budget cap aims to address this, but may take years to fully level the playing field. Media landscape. The shift to streaming services challenges traditional broadcasting revenue. F1 must innovate to retain viewers and secure high-value deals. The problem over there with the problem over there with the budget cap, I think there's a problem because it's sort of much about the money rather than the talent that you can attract. It's more about the talent that you can attract. Like if you are given the option between working for Ferrari versus working for Sauber, who would you work for? You would all obviously work for Ferrari. So the top talent doesn't want to work for Sauber. And then it's a cycle that because the top talent wants to go there, Sauber is not like attracting, let's say, not the top tier quality. They are not making enough money, which means they cannot afford even higher talent. So this is a cycle. This is a cycle. Fully level the playing field. The shift to streaming services challenges traditional broadcasting revenue. F1 must innovate to retain viewers and secure high-value deals. I think this is kind of the reason I remembered. Like you have kind of two batches of competition. You have the competition for the top four, top three, top four, and then you have the competition for among the rest. Because you know that you are not competing with Ferrari. You have to know that, okay, you are not competing with Ferrari. You don't have those kind of resources. So you're competing in these bottom six, and you want to make sure you are ranking at like you are crushing the bottom six. You don't have to worry about that, okay, I'm going to beat Ferrari. That's maybe too much. Must innovate to retain viewers and secure high-value deals, scheduling conflicts. 24 race calendar creates 24 race calendar is crazy. 24 race calendar. Wow. This means in a month. In a year, you are doing two races every month, which is already crazy. But then it's also the fact that there's a, it's not like it's happening consistently. There is a specific period. I don't know. We can look into this. but they do get like a summer break, or they get a break. They have an off season, and the on season, that means, is shorter than 12 months, which means it's happening even more frequently than two races per month. Creates logistical strain and stakeholder tensions, requiring more flexible scheduling. Regulatory issues such as bans on tobacco or gambling-related sponsorships. Wow, so Stake is a sponsor, and Marlboro used to be the big sponsor of Ferrari. Must ensure partnerships align with local laws and its values. Net zero carbon emissions by 2030, requiring investments in sustainable technologies. Partnerships with eco-conscious brands can support this goal, but demand alignment with the sports image. This is very interesting because it's like, if countries, if places, if local laws are very strict that, okay, no gambling sponsorships, no tobacco, no alcohol, then it's very interesting because it's like, okay, so this means you have to go out and look for eco-conscious brands, but eco-conscious brands might not have that much money. So, okay, you got Lululemon, that's right. You got Perplexity, that is right. So now you're either going after AI companies, tech companies, you're going after, yeah, you're not, yeah, that is forcing the entire sport to think better. Okay. And that might also, in somehow, that money is then going to eco-conscious brands because they don't have that much money to sponsor, but then you have to make sure that you build profitable, big, eco-conscious brands so that they can actually sponsor F1. So that's again good cycle, good feedback loop. Opportunities and recommendations, alternative revenue streams, expand licensing agreements, virtual reality experiences, and esports, F1 esports series to diversify income leverage, try to survive success, to create spin-off content or branded entertainment, digital innovation, personalized content, real-time race analytics, sustainable partnerships. Collaborate with green tech companies to advance sustainability goals, attracting environmentally conscious sponsors and fans. New teams and markets, despite 200 million entry fee, adding new teams could boost competition and revenue, provided they align with F1's strategic goal. Further expansion into Africa and South America could unlock untapped fan bases. I think we heard Audi is going to join the grid. That would be interesting. But no matter how big the company is, the fact that the current top 10 have been there for a long time. There's a lot of learnings that they have already had, a lot of fine tuning that they have already made. If a brand new team joins, it's not like taking over a team, it's not like just changing the primary owner, changing the principal owner. If a brand new team is added, that is going to be crazy. Yes, I think they can then start buying. They can start from a baseline where they're like, okay, we'll buy the engine from Mercedes. We'll do some technology transfer. But then again, it's all about the operations. They have never done the operations before. So again, they're doing some human resource trading, which is very interesting. Okay, okay. I think they can do that. They can do that. But again, having this another team from ground up, the owners are new. The owners have never been part of F1. They don't know what to expect. They are like, okay, we know that this is not where we make most of our money. This is more like fun. This is more like we are having fun over here, and we expect to lose money. But still, there might be a lot of challenges that come with owning a team as well, which they might not know about. Or they might think that they could handle it, but when it actually comes to when the challenges actually show up, it's hard to face them. Okay. All right. F1 TV. On-demand access to races, exclusive content, in-depth coverage of the sport. Hmm. Launched in 2018. Okay. Live race coverage, support series, exclusive content, on-demand access, F1 TV Pro, F1 TV Access, multi-angle viewing time, live timing and data, language options, historical archive, no ads, mobile and offline, business context, blackout periods. Replays may be delayed, 48 hours in some markets you do, broadcast agreements, regional restrictions, technical issues, competition, free-to-air broadcast and pirated streams, as well as other sports streaming services. Right, so this is interesting. It's only referred to as Liberty Media or simply Liberty. American mass media company with complex history of spin-offs, acquisition, strategic investment in media, entertainment, sports. 91, John Malone evolved into a diversified holding company with significant stakes in Formula One, Sirius XM, and Live Nation Entertainment. Sirius XM and Live Nation. Okay, so they already got a lot of experience in the entertainment business. Detailed history of Liberty. Origins founding as TCI spin-off. Telecommunications Inc., major US cable television company founded by Robert Magnus, led by John C. Malone since 1973, faced antitrust pressures, prompting the spin-off of programming assets and 14 cable systems deemed to have lower value. Malone, known as the King of Cable Programming, became Liberty's chairman and principal shareholder. Barton's aggressive deal making, averaging a deal every 10 days for 6 years, transformed Liberty into a success. Hmm. Prompting the spin-off of programming assets and 14 cable systems deemed to have lower value. Malone, known as King of Cable Programming, became Liberty's chairman and principal shareholder, while Peter Barton was appointed president, serving until 1997. Aggressive deal making, averaging a deal every 10 days for 6 years, transformed Liberty into a success. Early ventures included launching Core TV, introducing the film channel Encore, and acquiring Encore, French word, and acquiring a stake in the home shopping network. Liberty also partnered with Comcast to gain an 80% voting stake in QVC, a competing home shopping network. Reacquisition by TCI and growth. Okay, one of the big names over here. I see Time Warner integrating it back into its operations. Liberty partnered with Rupert Murdoch's news corporations to create Fox, Liberty Network, a national sports network. Time Warner acquired Turner Broadcasting Liberty and had a TCI stake, gaining a 9% holding in Time Warner. This market marked Liberty's growing influence in media conglomerates. 95, Liberty acquired a 49% stake in the Faith and Values channel, later the Hallmark channel, rebranding it as Odyssey. Includes secular programming. Emerged Encore and Stars, Encore Media Group, capitalizing on the growth of digital cable. Formation of Liberty Interactive, set-top boxes, owning 86% of TCI Music. AT&T acquisition, 48 billion, folding TCI Ventures and assets like Sprint PCS, United Radio, Satellite Group, and General Instrument into Liberty Media Group, still chaired by Malone. 8% stake in News Corporation and acquired the associated group wireless and radio broadcasting and stake in Intelligent. Independence and expansion, spin-off. November 2000, what? Okay. Just 1 year? Wow. Just more than 1.5 years. AT&T announced plans to spin off Liberty Media Group as part of restructuring into separate cable, wireless, and consumer businesses. Filed a 38.4 billion IPO, largest in history at the time. Spin-off was completed 2001, traded independently on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbols LMC.A. Raised capital and used its stock for acquisitions. Trading segments included Stars on Core Group, Liberty Live Wire, On Command, Televest, and others. Robert R. Bennett was named president and CEO. Acquisition investments. Acquired Wink, set-top box maker, 100 million. Invested 5 billion in 9 German regional cable networks. Major companies, including being the largest shareholder in the News Corporation, though the Murdoch family held more voting shares and 4% stake in Time Warner. 2000, invested in Sendent Corporation, Travel and Real Estate, Prime Media, Chorus Entertainment, Todd AO, and Japan's Jupiter Telecommunication. June 2005, Liberty Media International merged with UGC to form Liberty Global, major broadband provider operating in 18 countries by 2012. May 2006, Time Warner acquired Liberty's 50% stake in Core TV for 735 million. That same month, Liberty acquired IDT Entertainment for 186 million, renaming it Stars Media combined with its premium TV channels. Greg, former CFO at Microsoft and Oracle, took on leadership roles at SiriusXM, TripAdvisor, and Live Nation Entertainment. Wisconsin Station negotiated to buy Barnes and Nobles for 1 billion, but ultimately acquired a 16% stake. Okay. Trading stocks and restructuring spin-off and New Liberty. Old Liberty changes name to Liberty Interactive Corporation. Liberty Cap Stars was renamed Liberty Media, New Liberty, as part of a split-off transaction completed in 2011. It seems like they had first 2011. No, 2011 was good. Okay. The first one seemed to be happened right during the dot-com boom. So it seems like AT&T was facing some difficulties, and that's when they were like, oh shit, we just bought this massive property, $48 billion last year, but now we have to kind of restructure and divest. Spiro separated Liberty's media entertainment assets from its new structure. New Liberty Series A and B, Liberty Capital Common stock trading under symbols LMCA and LMCB. Star spin-off Liberty Broadband. Okay. December 2014 transferred the CEO role of TripAdvisor to Gref, giving Liberty TripAdvisor 57% voting share. Trading stock reclassification. Restructures assets into three trading stock groups. Liberty SiriusXM Group, Formula One. Okay. Liberty Braves. Atlanta Braves. Okay, so this is right when things were happening, right before they acquired F1. They did a spin-off, creating separate publicly traded company with Stars as its flagship channel. They were acquired by Lionsgate 4.4. Okay, a lot of things were happening. Acquisition of Formula One and motorsport expansion. Agreed to acquire Formula One from CVC Capital Partners for 4.4, with the deal valuing F1 at 8 billion, including debt. Liberty removed Bernie Ecclestone as F1's leader, appointing Chase Carey as chairman CEO to modernize the sport. Under Liberty's ownership, F1's valuation grew significantly. Bernie Ecclestone is such a big brand. That's a brand name now. That name is a brand for F1. But yeah, he got F1 where it was, and then you needed something bigger. F1's valuation grew significantly, reaching 17.1 billion by 23, driven by digital engagement. Netflix's try to survive new races and increase sponsorship. The franchise was considered under monetized at acquisition. Liberty capitalized on its global fan base and US market potential. Liberty's strategic moves included expanding F1's digital presence with F1 TV, enhancing fan engagement, securing high-value sponsorship, contributing to F1's 2.1 billion annual revenue by 21. MotoGP, other motor sport ventures. Liberty Media acquired an 86% stake in Dorna Sports Organizer Grand Prix motorcycle racing, control two of the world's premium motorsport races. Set to own three World Superbikes, also managed by Dorna, further diversifying its sports portfolio. Split off of Atlanta Braves Holdings Baseball Club and the Battery Atlanta Development. Reclassified its tracking stocks into three groups: Liberty SiriusXM Formula One, Liberty Live. Liberty SiriusXM Group was spun off and merged with SiriusXM Holdings, leaving Formula One Group and Liberty Live Group as the remaining tracking stocks. Liberty acquired Quint, a provider of ticket and hospitality packages for sports and entertainment events, attributing it to the Formula One Group. Right, so this is the one, Quint, which they acquired for 300 million. Sports entertainment events, attributing it to Formula One Group. Merged with SiriusXM Holdings, leaving Formula One Group and Liberty Live Group as the remaining trading tracking stocks. So interesting. So much stuff had to happen. They did start with media, and then slowly they were constantly making a lot of media, and then all these little things were being sold, being merged based on strategies, and that has been going on. Okay. F1 co minority investments, while the Liberty Live Group included a stake in Live Nation Entertainment. Reported revenue of 4.795 billion with 950 million in operating income and 29.798 billion in total assets. By 2024, 2025, its Formula One group alone contributed significantly with F1's operating income doubling and a 23% margin driven by a 17 billion market cap. John C. Malone remains chairman, controlling the majority of voting shares. Wow, so John C. Malone has been here from 1991. He has seen it all for the last 30 years. That is crazy. Greg, President CEO since 2005, oversees strategy and holds leadership roles at SiriusXM, Live Nation, and TripAdvisor. Okay. Derek Chang became President CEO in January 25 with experience in media and sports, including roles at Charter Communications and Everpass Media. Renee Wilm serves as Chief Legal Officer and Chief Administrative Officer, and Brian J. Wendling is Chief Accounting Officer. Headquarters, Englewood, Colorado. Liberty Boulevard. Uh, Edita Road sponsorship. CCI. PETA for sponsoring the dog sled race accused of causing over 103 dog deaths. Or CEO to end the sponsorship, but no public response has been issued. Current structure and outlook. Operates through two tracking stock groups, Formula One, Quint Minority Investments, Liberty Live Group, Live Nation Minority Investments, major assets, Formula One, Cornerstone, 24 races, global fan base, 100 million, SiriusXM Pandora, audio entertainment platforms. This is a massive media business now. Audio entertainment platforms, post 24, SiriusXM split off. Live Nation Entertainment, a leader in live events and ticketing via Ticketmaster. Valuation investments, with Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway holding a 630 million stake in its F1 business as of December 2024. Wow, Warren Buffett and F1 doesn't make sense, but this is cool. The company's focus on the motorsports, media, live entertainment positions it for further expansion. Relevance to Formula One. Okay, what did Warren Buffett say about investment? About, let's say, go very specific about in the F1 business, let's see. See what Warren Buffett has to say about it. Is he like, I like fast cars? Not made specific public statements. Rationale. Unlike some of his high-profile investments, Apple Coca-Cola typically does not comment extensively on smaller, less central holdings than Formula One, which represents only about 0.16% of the 360 billion equity portfolio. Investment philosophy, stake details. December 2024 owns approximately 7.72 million shares of Liberty Media's Formula One Group, valued at 630 million, representing a 2.02% ownership in the company. The stake was initially acquired in Q2 2016 with additional purchases in subsequent years, costing Berkshire about 468 million. Liberty's media role. Conglomerate history of media entertainment investments, aligning with Buffett's preference for businesses with strong cash flow and growth potential. Under Liberty's management since 2017 generated 3.41 billion revenue in FY24 through raised promotion fees, media rights, and sponsorships, making it a lucrative asset. Historical connection predates the Formula One acquisition, held an 8% stake in Liberty Media. Berkshire had held an 8% stake in Liberty Media with 4.6% of the company's voting rights, making it a significant external shareholder during Liberty's 4.4 billion buyout. Saw value in Liberty's broader portfolio, including its potential to transform F1. What Buffett might say based on his philosophy. Value investing principles rooted in Benjamin Graham's teachings, which emphasizes buying undervalued companies with strong fundamentals and holding them long term. We aren't stock pickers, we are business pickers, focusing on companies with strong fundamentals. Near monopoly on elite motorsport generating 41 billion annual cash. Unique business with a global audience. He might say, wow, they generated multiple revenue streams. It was under-monetized when Liberty acquired, but its growth in the US and digital platforms shows it's a business with long-term value. Outperforming the Nasdaq's 30% drop in 22 likely appealed to Buffett's focus on companies that can thrive despite market volatility. On betting on America, never bet against America. Strong US market potential. F1's expansion in the US with new races Miami and Las Vegas aligns with this view, tapping into a growing fan base fueled by Drive to Survive. He might note Formula One's push to America with races in key markets is a smart move. It's bringing a global sport to a country that loves entertainment, and that's a growth story we like. On management and execution, Buffett values competent management leaders. Transformation of F1 under CEO Stefano Domenichelli, with increased social media reach, 71 million viewers per race, and a 17.1 billion valuation, reflects strong execution. Taken a storied sport and made it a global entertainment powerhouse. They are executing well. That's why we're comfortable holding this stake. And we're discussing specific ways to prevent market speculation. He focuses on broad principles, not individual holdings. It takes so much control